Welcome to Bleav in 76ers with your hosts, former 76ers point guard Eric Snow and two Sixers fanatics in Marcus and Teja Dash. Bleav in 76ers is presented by betonline.ag.
BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, college basketball, to NHL and UFC, BetOnline is the number one sports betting source for the new year. From touchdowns to three-pointers and hat tricks, BetOnline has you covered on every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here. Want to make some quick cash and have fun during the NFL playoffs? Well, it's time to embrace your inner underdog. Over the last 3 weeks, we have given 11 selections, and we have cashed on 10 of those, predicting higher or lower on multiple different player statistics. So we are ready to continue this heater into the playoffs. So if you have yet to download the Underdog app, do so now and get free cash. Click the link in the description or use promo code CHIEFCONCERNS, one word, to claim your free pick plus first-time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. It's NFL playoff season, so let's continue to keep the good vibes in 2025. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bleav in 76ers podcast. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary 76ers point guard Eric Snow and my brother, Teja Dash. So, like we said, we predicted there was going to be a victory, and we won that game, but narrowly, which is not sitting well with some Sixers fans. But in this episode, we're going to try to be positive. So I feel like I've been watching other Sixers podcasts, a lot of negativity. Even when we win, there's negatives all over the place. But we're going to try to be positive in today's episode as we kind of break down what we saw the other night and kind of looking to the future here as we can try to rally off some more wins. How's everybody doing? Eric, Teja?
Doing good, man. Ready to go.
Pretty good.
And I know a lot of on our Sixers Twitter last night, I saw most of them are Penn State fans. A lot of them are very not feeling the best right now, bad vibes, and they're hoping that the Eagles can win this weekend to kind of keep the good vibes up in Philadelphia. And yeah, rough times in Pennsylvania right now.
Tough one.
Winning cures all, man, as they say.
Yeah, and it helps the Sixers play against the worst team in the East the other day in Washington, and now they're playing against the worst team in the West tonight. So hopefully, more good things to come in Pennsylvania. But let's begin with the Wizards game from the other night. So obviously, anytime we get a win in the league, it's a good thing, especially when you're without Embiid and Paul George. But like I said, Sixers fans very pissed off about how the game went the other night. But again, just because you guys are the worst team in the East, these guys still get paid too, and getting a win in the NBA is still good still good by all measures. But obviously, too close for comfort. But what were some of the positives that you guys saw? And we're going to take a positive spin from this. What were the positives that you guys saw from this kind of close victory over the Wizards? Because there were some, you saw some of the role players stepping up, but obviously there's a lot of negatives to take away from barely winning. But what were some of the positives that you guys could draw from this win?
I mean, the main positive is you won the game. I mean, that you figured out a way to win it. And you had a close game in the end. And you had some situations, and you figured it out. So those games are always helpful because it brings valuable experience in closing games out, no matter who's out there, because you never know which player could be ending the game in the playoffs. So those are the positives that I get from it. It's hard to be. I mean, if I anymore to look in other than at anything else because. Maybe you all knew, but I didn't know those guys were sitting out until right before the game. So for them to sit out and still get a victory, that's always a positive because that's that's part of the reason we kind of dug a hole that we're in right now by guys not being available. So whenever you can win a game, it's if you can win a game when you're down a player or two, even better. So I'm just ecstatic that it was a win.
Well, with Embiid, I'm kind of the opposite now. I'm assuming he's out until they tell me he's in because, I mean, he's missed more than he's played. So it's sad, but I'm assuming he's out until they tell me otherwise.
I mean, my thing is he was playing and then he was out, so it wasn't like, and then he missed the game and then he missed the next game. So what is it like? Is it just he's not feeling good? So now it's multiple games, or is it every other game? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we have no way of knowing like when it's going to happen. Like, what's the pattern of this?
I know it's impossible to predict, especially I think when we did our show. I think Nurse just had in his presser, he was talking about getting to the point where Embiid can play back-to-backs, which is ambitious because it's like he's not even playing in games that are separated by 3 days. You're going to talk about back-to-backs? Get him 2 consecutive games first. Not even back-to-backs. Like
just consecutive games. Just consecutive games that aren't back-to-back. Like, that should be the goal.
Yes. 1 game at a time.
I think most people are understanding if they say no back-to-backs. But it's hard to not think it's more serious when you don't play consecutive games that aren't back-to-back.
Aren't back-to-backs. Yeah. As far as the Washington game, I mean, any victory is I'll take it against bad teams, whatever. Especially without Embiid and PG. And in games where that's happening, I feel like we're starting to see the pecking order get firmed up at guys outside of our top 3. So, and I think it's pretty much Yabusele and it's Oubre, right? I think that's what's forming. I think Martin fills in here and there, but I think it's those 2 guys. And for me, I mean, we've seen Oubre do this, especially when we're shorthanded last year, but seeing Yabusele step up the way he is, I'm so impressed. I get more impressed all the time. I mean, Yabusele double figures in 7 out of his last 9 games, reaching he's 12-6, shooting 48% from 3 on 5 attempts a game. So it's a high clip. It's not even that he's just, hitting like 1 out of 2 each game. That's big time. I'm starting to get more and more to we don't need to look for a 4 in the trade deadline. We're not forced to anymore, whereas I thought we needed to at the beginning of the season. The way he's looking, he's exactly what you want. I was listening to, I forgot which game it was. They were talking about, it might have been the Golden State game where they were talking about what both teams should be looking for at the deadline, like what they should be going after. And I think the commentator said a big who can shoot. I'm like, well, you got 48% from your 4 who can also rebound. I mean, he's a great rebounder. I don't know if we should be looking for that anymore. Maybe for a depth piece version of that. But that was my biggest takeaway, is just Yabusele becoming just a key part of our team that I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah, I mean, I think all those things you said I agree with. But it wouldn't hurt to have another big that's ready to play that can shoot it. With Joel's history. Because then Joel's out with his history. If you have another guy that can fill in and shoot it, and you still got Maxey, you still got Paul, you still got other guys that can help you off the dribble. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. But Yabusele he's done more than what was kind of expected from him, from my perspective. So I think he's done well. So I think that you have to find a way to kind of keep putting him in position to be successful.
I would say, not only a 4. I guess I was just thinking 4, but a big, a 5, a stretch 5, even a guy who can maybe play 4 and 5. I go back to who we talked about last year, maybe a Kelly Olynyk type who can come in. That's a perfect type guy I could see coming here.
Yeah, and also too, I mean, Drummond's missed a decent amount of games as well, and he was supposed to be our, a big time fill-in for Embiid when Embiid was out. And now when you have both of them down, then you're relying on Yabusele to play a 5 a little bit more. You're relying on the young buck and Adem Bona to step up in situations like tonight. He's going to get a lot of playing time in tonight's game. So, I mean, that's another reason why you want to go out and get a big who can, do a little bit of everything.
And that was when we weren't expecting Embiid to be as unhealthy as he's been. So Drummond's been good insurance, but again, he's missed time. And if he misses time, we're kind of screwed in the long term. So maybe what they weren't expecting to go after was another backup 5. You have to readjust though, right?
Yeah. But, like you said, getting a win without Paul George or Embiid on the court is a big-time thing, regardless of who the opponent is, to win. And we'll take that. Take to the bank. Also, shout out Eric Gordon. I know a lot of Sixers fans wanted to run him out of town a couple weeks ago. He stepped up big time in that game, and and that's why we brought him in for to be big when we need him.
And Caleb Martin, 3 blocks.
Yeah,
he's just doing the dirty work.
Yep, stuff in the stat sheet. Okay, so now we're gonna get to the other side of things. So, Eric, seeing a lot of Sixers fans who want to know what's up with Tyrese Maxey, his shooting, and just kind of doing a deep dive on it. So, in the 29 games Maxey has played this season, nearly half of those games he shot 30% or below from 3. So it was 12 of the 29 games he shot 30% or below, and on multiple games of like 12% or like 15%. Now, is this just a slight regression because a lot of Sixer fans are getting scared about it? I'm seeing some Sixer fans are saying the coaching staff needs to rest him for a couple games because he's taking on too much of the load without Embiid and Paul George, which I think is just kind of comical. But what do you think this is a symptom of playing more without Embiid this year, or is this just a slight regression?
I'll say it's a combination of multiple things. So the low in the minutes, I do think that's a factor. Also, shot selection. I thought his shot selection has kind of gone down. I don't think it's as good as it was. And third, I would say he's no longer a secret.
That's a good point.
So teams are aware of his tendencies and what he likes to do and trying to get him out of a rhythm. He's seen a little more attention, the bigger guys, double teams. So he has to figure that out. So I think it was just, those multiple things are contributing to it. If I had to pick one that I felt was the major factor out of those 3, I'll say shot selection.
Do you think that's attributed to him just knowing he has to take on a full load, just getting him up there and trusting his percentages?
I mean, I think some of it is feeling like he needs to do more, but also I don't know if the coaches I don't know if they really address it with him on the proper shot selection. I mean, the main reason why he's getting numbers with his percentages is because his volume is so high.
Yeah.
But if you have volume, if your volume is still that high, you have more efficiency, you could do even more, even better. So I still feel that, I would say that shot selection, I would probably put the load and the extra attention, maybe 2A, 2B. But I think the shot, I believe it's the shot selection. I mean, he can make those shots, but if you say the combination of he can make those shots with now a heavier load and now getting more attention kind of makes it tougher.
Kind of a question B for that I wanted to ask before I get to my opinion on it. Do you think the musical chairs of availability and lineups are hurting Maxey kind of and PG too, and to develop a solid offensive rhythm? And by that, I mean one game, Embiid's there and PG and Maxey, they have to dial it back a little bit and become a little more playmaky, shoot less. And the next game he's out, and they have to shoot 25 times. And the next game he's out again, and he's back, and they got to shoot 10, 15 times. Do you think that kind of just throws off the offensive rhythm and helping get?
I would say that could affect Paul because you're in a different role, and then 2, you were in a different team, and you never really had your full group, and it seems to kind of change game by game. So I would say that could easily affect Paul. I do not think that affects Maxey. I think Maxey plays the same way no matter what.
Yeah, I agree.
So when Joel was there, he may not get as many shots, but he's still just as aggressive. I don't see his assists skyrocketing up when Joel comes back. So
that's true.
He's still those shots are still going up.
Which interesting. I agree, and I think it would affect Paul more because Maxey's also used to this, but Paul, and it sucks because it's one thing if we played half the year together and then all this started unraveling and then they had to go musical chairs. but it's been musical chairs since the start. So that's been the norm for
Yeah.
this team is musical chairs.
Yeah.
I will say, to counter my own question, would be if there's a one guy who would be used to musical chairs, I would say it's George, because he played with Kawhi for a while, and Kawhi is also a guy who missed a lot of games. But Kawhi, the difference between Kawhi and Embiid, Kawhi is either like playing minute restriction or he's out for a while. Whereas Embiid's play tomorrow, miss 2 days from now, play the next game, miss 2 days from now, where Kawhi's either out or in for extended time.
Yeah.
But I think, I don't know.
I've seen a few fans kind of talk about a lot of the existing free agents out there right now and thinking that there really isn't another person who can come in and kind of be that Maxey when Maxey's off the court right now as far as a backup guard. I'm seeing a guy like Fultz and Lonnie Walker, two guys people keep trying to say that the Sixers need to pick up because they could help kind of lessen the load for Maxey during games. Do you think those guys would really matter or would make a difference on the team?
I don't know, man. I think a lot of this is kind of hard to go reaching for other players when we don't really know what this full group is going to look like.
Yeah.
So, when you bringing people in, you still now all of a sudden you decreasing people's minutes. It's like like Eric Gordon, for instance, was brought in and he had high expectations. Then all of a sudden McCain kind of pans out more than we kind of expected. Now that kind of diminishes Eric Gordon some. So that's what you're gonna get. Like you bring guys in, and somebody's gonna have to sit down. So I don't know. Maybe that is needed to probably bring some more consistency, but I don't know. I think with the full group that we had like a week or so ago when they played and won games, and that group can probably win some games. Can definitely get in the playoffs and scare some teams, but we just don't know if we're going to have it. So it's kind of hard because you think, okay, we are in January, so we only a month away from the deadline. So if we're going to do something, we got to be thinking about it. But what is it? What are we going to do to prevent what's been happening from happening? Is the question.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. And it's hard to even judge what you need when you don't know what you need because your core doesn't play together enough. Yes. So you really, we don't have a sample size big enough to know, like, okay, well, it looks like we struggle when this happened because they've been on the court enough. Mm-hmm. We talked about this a few weeks ago, and like that's what I want to get. I want to get to some kind of grounded place where we know what we need. But we don't know that because they're just not on the court. It's frustrating. It really is. Yeah. But I will say we're pretty lucky too, though, because the amount of time that these guys have missed, and on top of that, not shooting well, PG and Maxey's percentages are both really low. And the amount of time they've missed, and Embiid, 15 and 20, I actually feel lucky to be here right now. That's crazy to say.
You're in the 11th seed, so you still are close to the 6th seed.
Yeah, we're one game out of the 10th.
Yeah, you're reasonably close to the 6th seed.
100%. We're only 4 games out of the 5th seed.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So you are reasonably close if you can get on the run. But we know what's needed to get on the run. So hopefully that can happen.
Yeah. And what trade deadline's February 10th?
It's somewhere around there. 10th, either the weekend after, I don't know, either the weekend before All-Star or after All-Star. It used to be after All-Star. I believe it's before All-Star now, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. Thursday, February 6th.
Yeah. Okay. So it's before All-Star now. So it's coming up. It's less. Yeah, it's about a month
away.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, it's crazy how fast the season's going. We're already in your All-Star break and already at trade deadline.
I know.
And we've barely seen our team together fully.
Yeah.
I know.
Crazy.
How many games have they started and finished together? Like 5 or 6?
I think so.
So low.
Yeah.
I remember at one point that we were 4-0 when they started and finished together. I think they maybe played 1 or 2 games since then.
Yeah, I Bleav they're still undefeated when they do that.
Yeah, that only matters if it actually happens, though.
It's true.
6 out of 30. What are we? 15 and 20.
Yep.
So 6 out of 35 games. There you go.
Awesome.
Yeah. Undefeated when it happens, though. So there you go.
Cool.
So
Yeah. Hey.
on pace for 82-0 if we do that next year.
Yeah. It'll just be like 7 years to do that, to finish 82 games together.
Yeah. I hope not. All right, so now we're gonna get to game picks. So we have 2 games that we'll be predicting until we see each other next Tuesday. And first one is tonight. The Sixers were opened up as a 4-point favorite against the New Orleans Pelicans, the 7-31 New Orleans Pelicans, the worst team in the West. Now we are a 5.5-point favorite. 76ers will be without Joel Embiid and Andre Drummond. Pelicans will be without Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones, and Trey Murphy. Zion, I think it's a second game back tonight. Who do you guys have in this game tonight?
I think we win. I think it's going to be closer than we want it to be. But I do think we win the game. Do we cover? Barely. We cover late in the game.
And Murray is questionable, too. He's not for sure going to play tonight either. He's just coming back from an elbow. But we should – when did they play their last game? They played 8th, so they have a couple days rest. We should beat them. What's the spread in the game, you said?
5.5.
Yeah,
5.5? Yeah, it'll be right around there. It's going to be one of those where we're probably kind of similar to the Wizards game where we're winning by a good amount. They bring it down. We make it. They like tie it up with like 2 minutes and we get it back to like 5 or 6. I think 5.5. I think we win by 6. So yeah, I'd say we cover that by just thin layer of skin. Murray not playing would hurt even more, but they just got blown out by the Blazers. Yeah, we should win and cover it.
Another squeaker.
I think Paul George. I see him scoring 20 plus though.
Good.
Yeah, and he was elevated. Yesterday he was questionable. Then late last night they made him elevated into probable. So, yeah. All right, then Sunday we will. I think this is the final game. It completes the season series of the Orlando Magic 76ers series, regular season series. 76ers are 1-2 on the season against them. Should be 2-1, but one of those games we let slip by. Yeah. Who do you guys have in this regular season finale between the Magic and the Sixers?
This a home game?
It's at Orlando.
No, we won't win. Carlo will be back.
They're missing a bunch of guys, though, I will say. Wagner, no conditioning yet. The other Wagner's out for a while because he tore his ACL, obviously. Suggs, lower back strain. He might not be ready for that game. Gary Harris has a hamstring. He's out tonight, so who knows what his status will be. So they do have some injury problems themselves. I don't know if that factors into your decision, though. Eric's frozen. I thought he was.
No, we're going to win. I mean, we're not going to win.
No, you still going to say we're going to lose.
No,
have they given any insight into whether Embiid might be available for the weekend or no?
No, they haven't said anything.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I keep saying on these road games we're going to win, and we end up not doing it. So I'm going to say no in the hopes that I'm wrong again.
I'm gonna go win there.
Good.
I think they have their own injury problems. I think we'll
Good. That's great.
Yeah. I'm giving us the win on that one.
And then we come back on Tuesday night. We play at home against OKC. So a couple days rest there from Orlando.
Ooh, well.
Yeah. Do you think they make the most of the Do they make the most of the Orlando trip, Eric? Did they maybe go to Disney World for the day or something? So we have a 2-day break?
No, I mean they may do something. I don't think they would do Disney. You're typically on your own.
Oh, okay.
You go down there, trips like that. So you may do a team dinner or something like that, but for the most part, you're on your own.
Okay.
That'd be a nice team building exercise. Disney World.
Gonna rise together.
Fun. Yeah.
That's a lot, though. Most guys wouldn't want to do that during the season.
No.
Yeah. Too much walking.
That's true.
Get a fast pass, skip the line.
You still walking.
That's true.
And those seats for those rides are not comfortable. They're not comfortable for me. I can imagine
most guys do that. So
forget that, man.
Yeah, I could imagine for the NBA players how tall they are.
That's what I say to myself when I'm in those things strapped into my knees, hitting the bar. I'm like,
yeah, I mean, Universal is probably more for adults than the Disney experience is.
Okay.
Unless you're taking your children or something.
Mm-hmm.
Younger children.
Are you a roller coasters guy, Eric, or no?
I mean, I ride them. I used to, but my children don't do it, so I just kind of haven't done it. Yeah,
they don't like them. You just haven't made it your way to a amusement park in a while.
No, we stopped going to amusement parks because they wouldn't get on them. We got some wimps in the family.
They just wouldn't do them. Oh,
they different, man. Bougie and spoiled.
Oh, but I mean, like amusement parks are,
Yeah, we go to amusement park. They be amused.
It's like it's a grind.
They be amused with everything else except those rides.
Man. What about water parks?
Oh, they love water parks. Yeah, they love the water.
Yeah.
They'll do slides.
They love water parks?
They'll do all the slides and stuff in the water park.
Yeah. That's interesting, though. So, I mean, slides are pretty close. Are they kind of a little scared and skittish about the?
Well, I mean, some of the kids won't go all the way to the top. Like the younger boys, when they were younger, they wouldn't do all those stuff. But as they got older, they did everything on the water park. So that's why we probably did more water parks than amusement parks because they didn't really do rides. Well, we're not here to pay more money for y'all to play games, and we just paid to get in here.
Yeah, no. You can go to a cheap carnival for that kind of stuff.
Yes, exactly. That's my point.
No, you're here. You're riding.
Yeah,
exactly.
Some of the younger boys are like, one of my younger boys, he'll ride roller coasters. Some of his friends did it when they went on their school trip. They go to Universal. And he got on some rides. A couple of my older boys will get on them. One of them, Jaron, I think Jaron, he'll ride them. My oldest is the one that he never really got into it like that. My other ones, they will ride, but they don't they've never been asking to go to parks.
Yeah, they don't love it. They don't love it.
You see what I'm saying? Like if we go, then they'll do it, but they're not asking to do it.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, water parks are fun. I like water parks too.
Yeah. Eric, did you go to Cedar Point a lot growing up?
I didn't really go a lot, but I've been a few times. I couldn't afford it like that. But we used to go to Cedar Point after prom, the next day. That's what everybody would do.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That's cool.
And then I had a couple appearances and stuff that I did. I took my younger kids when I played for the Cavs. But I actually haven't been in a while. I know they've changed a lot since then. They've added a water park, indoor water park. They got even a basketball park, basketball where people go and play like a sports arena.
Oh wow!
They hold tournaments for basketball tournaments, so they haven't built that out there.
Good idea.
So a lot of people go out there and kind of do the park too. So
that's cool.
So I know they had that, but I hadn't been out there in a while. I would love to take my younger boys there, but when we went to Ohio, we just couldn't get there. Man. It's just too much.
Yeah, I know some of my friends from Ohio. They always say Cedar Point's the best amusement park in the entire country, better than Universal, Disney.
I believe it is. I believe it is. It's a hidden gem.
Really?
Huh. Yeah, because it's right on the water, so it has the water and the amusement park. It has everything.
And you said they built an indoor indoor water park too.
I believe so. Yeah.
That's cool.
Now.
Yeah. To make use of the wintertime.
No, it's great. It's a smart idea.
Yeah. Interesting. There you go. If any of our Sixers fans have not been to Cedar Point, make your way to Ohio. Go to see Cedar Point.
Yeah.
But all right, guys. Well, that does it for us. Hope everybody enjoyed the episode. Hope everybody enjoys the NFL playoffs this weekend and the college football playoff tonight. And we'll see you guys on Tuesday. Hopefully, Sixers are 2-0.
Yep.
See you guys.